Pop up.
Oh, shout. Okay. Oh, sure. Let me see we are about to start.
I'll go live. I'll call you back. Let me cut.
Something.
Okay, later.
All right, bye bye.
If you just joined, please, you're welcome. Please like and share the live. Before that, if you've downloaded the data set, let me get on the comments that you've downloaded it. For those that have joined, I've gotten the data set. If you've done that, drop a text in the comment chat that you've downloaded it. Before I move on, please check if you've downloaded the data set I sent to the platform. If you are just joining, if you have gotten the data, comment on this comment section so we can move on. So today we'll be looking at practical section. We're looking at a practical section. Please, if you're not on the WhatsApp group, you've not gotten the data set, please drop a comment so I'll know how to share it to you. If you're in this live, not gotten the data set I'm about to use for this training section, please if you are in this live section, I've not gotten the data set to use, and if you have gotten it, please can I see a sign on the comment section? Okay, it means that every one of us in this live have his or her data set. Is that what we're saying? So, previously we talked about data analysis. We discussed on the data analysis in our previous class. So look towards the predictive, we did the diagnostic analysis, we did descriptive analysis, and I told us there is predictive analysis and perspective analysis. So the types of analysis I explained the previous time. Okay. So in this section, I like to practicalize some things. I like to show us on how to analyze data using Excel. So you'll be looking at how to use Excel to analyze data. If you know you're familiar with Excel, can I see you raise your hand on the chat box? If you know you're familiar with Excel, you used Excel before. And if you need a training on Excel also, we have a platform, Tech Trinity, that offer practical training also. And it's at a cheaper rate. So we offer tech training, web development, data science, data analysis, business analysis. So some hot courses. So if you know you want a deeper understanding on Excel, you can enroll in that platform. So, but in this section, I'll be going through with this data set. I'll be putting us through on this data set, explaining with details. Okay, I'm going to explain the data set with details. So if you have gotten the data set, like I said, if you have gotten the data set, please drop a comment on the chat box. Drop a comment there. So let me know how many of us have gotten the data set. And if you're not in my WhatsApp group, also let me know so I can add you up. If you're joining this live section, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, where I drop the updates, drop tips on data. If you know you are not in that platform, please you can drop your phone number so it can be added up to the platform. So that's what I got to say before we move on to this project that we have here. And also, if you're starting as a beginner, you may have a little bit of to run through now. We have some question. Before I move into the project, I would like to explain some level of some things that we can. So I'd like to explain the tools. I'd like to give you a brief explanation what the tools is and what we use it for. So the last time I told us that we have different analytic tools, which I mentioned Excel, I mentioned Power BI, then Tableau, Google Spreadsheets, Looker, Python, and so on. So those are the tools I explained or I mentioned during our the classes I was going through the last time. So we are going to use the Excel in this section. We are using Excel to analyze data. So what is Excel, if I may ask? If you ask what is Excel? Excel is a spreadsheet. It's a spreadsheet or platform we use for analyzing, calculating, and summarizing data. So if you are asked what Excel is, a spreadsheet software. It's a spreadsheet software used to analyze, organize, calculate, and visualize data. That is what Excel is. I'm not teaching you from basics. I'm not teaching you from basics. Understand? But I'm giving you some tips. So Excel is a spreadsheet program, like I said. It's a spreadsheet used to organize, analyze, calculate, and visualize data. So it is officially called Microsoft Excel, and it is part of Microsoft Office, known as Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365. Okay, so Excel is popular. It's one of the most popular tools. You understand? One of the most popular tools. So, what can you use Excel for? One of the things you can use Excel for, you can use Excel to store data in rows and columns. You can use Excel to calculate. You can use it for calculation. You can use Excel for data analysis. When you're talking about data analysis, you're talking about using it for filter, sorting, use for pivot table, create dashboard, and so on. So Excel can also be used for chart and visualization. So Excel can be also be used for what? For charts and visualization. Please take note. So you may ask, why is Excel so important? Why is Excel important? So as someone, like I said, as someone who teaches Excel or as someone who teach data analysis and business skills, I will tell you that Excel is a foundational tool for beginners. So Excel is a foundational tool for now. Take note of that. And it's required in many offices. It's required in many offices. Some office that you go to apply for jobs, they'll first ask if you're familiar with Microsoft suites. So we have Excel, PowerPoint, Word, Access. So you'll be asked if you're familiar with those tools. So Excel is very important. It's foundational tools for beginners. So and Excel is a stepping stone to tools like Power BI and SQL. Please like this live and share the live. like the live and share the live before I move on. So, Excel is a stepping stone for tools like Power BI and SQL. Okay, so it's tools for Power BI and what? It's tools for stepping stone for Power BI and what? And SQL. So it's the basics, the foundational program that every one of us would love to start with. We love to start with Excel. You understand? Like I said, many offices, many companies, that's one of the tools they use in their office. So as a data person, as someone into data entry, as someone going into data analysis, okay, you are meant to know it. You're meant to learn how to use it. Like I said, data entry and organization used Excel. You understand? So they use Excel. You can store data in rows, like I say, in rows and columns. Then it can also be used for calculation. You perform automatic calculation using formulas like sum, average, if, sum, average, if. Those are some of the formulas you can perform. Then you can also use it, like I said, for data analysis. We're talking about using pivot table, creating dashboard, sort, and filter. Then it can also be used for chart and visualization. It can be used for creating bar charts, can be used for creating line charts, can be used for creating dashboards. Please take note of that. So in this section, we're going to be making use of some tools. So we're going to be making use of pivot table. So we are going to be using pivot table to analyze our data. So it's pivot table we're going to be using for the analysis of this data. So what is pivot table? So I like to explain that. Then please, if you are in this live, please like and share. Please like and share. And also, if you're not in my platform, if you're not in my WhatsApp group, please comment that you're not on the WhatsApp group so I can add you for you to have access to the data set that we're using for this project. I'm not sure some of us are hearing me, so please, if you are not on the WhatsApp group, please drop a message so I can add you. So I've explained this. That Excel is a spreadsheet software. So just want to drop it here. So some of us don't know what Excel is. So today you know that Excel is what? It's a spreadsheet software used to organize, analyze, calculate, and visualize data. It is officially called Microsoft Excel and it's part of Microsoft Office Suite, now known as what? Office. That is Microsoft Office 365. Office 365. Please take note. Then I told us what can you use Excel to do. So I explained that what we can use Excel to do. I explained what you can use Excel to do. One, for data entry and organizations. For data entry and organization, please, if you need a full training on this section, if you need a full training on Excel, you can communicate with me, then can put you through on that. So two, we have calculation. We have calculation. Then three, we have data analysis. Then 4, we have charts, chart and visualization. We have chart and visualization. Then 5, okay, let's stop there. Let's stop at 4. Let's stop at this key 4 points. What can you do? What can you use Excel for? So by now you know what you can use Excel for. You know what you can use Excel to do. So why is Excel so important? Why is it very important to know how to use Excel? Why is it very important to know how to use Excel? Why is it very important to know how to use Excel? So, as someone who teaches data analysis and business analysis or business skills, Excel is a foundational what? It's a foundational tool for beginner. Please take notes. Excel is a foundational tool for beginner required in many office job. So required in many office jobs. Also, it's a stepping stone to tools like Power BI and what and SQL. It's a stepping stone for tools like Power BI and SQL. Okay. Okay. So let's push on. Like I said, that as someone who teaches data analysis and business skills, Excel is a foundational tool for a beginner. I'm not going to rush into this project. I'm going to explain, then move on. Maybe the next time on Wednesday, we'll make much publicity on the live section because some students feel that it's just explaining, talking, and so on. They don't know that we have practical sections on this um, training. So, like I said, these are some requirements. This is what you need to know. These are the areas you need to know. Please, if you are joining, um, drop a comment or like the platform. Also, if you don't have the data sets we're about to use for this analysis, please and please drop a comment so you can be added to the group. You can be added to the group. So drop a message so you can be added to the group. So let's move on. There are key things to know when doing a project. So what I just explained first now is Excel, explaining what Excel is. But in this live section, what we are going to be looking at is the pivot table, using it for analysis. I'm going to explain what the pivot table is, then how you can use it to analyze and visualize your data. Okay? So before we move on to the project pivot table, a pivot table is a powerful Excel features that helps you summarize, analyze, and reorganize large amounts of data quickly. Am I making sense? A pivot table is a powerful Excel feature that helps you summarize, analyze, and reorganize large amounts of data quickly without writing complex formula. So you don't have to learn how to write formula when using pivot table. You don't have to write complex formulas when using Excel pivot table. So you think of it as what? As a smart summary tool. Think of pivot table as a smart summary tool. In short form, a pivot table is a tool in Excel that allows you to automatically summarize data by categories using drag and drop. Using drag and drop. Okay, so let's move on. Next, what pivot table can do. Pivot table can calculate total, which one can count records, find average, group data, compare categories, create summary reports. Pivot table can do what? Create a powerful dashboard. Pivot table can create a powerful dashboard. So you can see now what pivot table is. So there are things to know before you jump into Excel project. There are things to know. There are a lot of to know before you what? Before starting an Excel project. Okay? So the first thing to know is understanding the objective. It's very, very important. You need to understand the objective. What is my aim of this project? What is my goal of this project? What is the objective of this project? So before jumping into this project, like I said, I may not complete what I want to do today, but we'll still move on. Like I said, the training section is Wednesday, every Wednesday. That's the training session. Every Wednesday, just join. If you're not in the platform, drop your number or drop your contact. You'll be added to the platform. 7 p.m. every Wednesday. 7 p.m. Nigeria time every Wednesday. So, things to know before starting an Excel project. Please, this is very key. This is very key. Understand the objective. So before touching Excel, ask, what problem are we solving? It may not be me teaching you. Maybe you have somebody that is training you. Before jumping into Excel project, before taking any task, first, ask, what problem are we solving? 2, what question must this data answer? What question must this data answer? Who is the report for? These are simple questions you need to ask. These are things you need to know before jumping into any project in Excel. What problem are we solving? What questions must this data answer? Who is this report for? Are we analyzing sales performance? Are we tracking student results? I'm just giving you an example. Are we building dashboards? Take note of this. Data without purpose is just number. A data without purpose is just what? Is just number. Please take note. Point 2. Understand the data set structure. You have to understand the structure of the data sets. You must check column names, data types. We have 3 major data types: the dates, numbers, and those are the 3 major types we have. You have to check for missing values, duplicates, inconsistency, inconsistent formatting. You have to check that. Example is amount really a number. Sometimes maybe you will be working with a column amount and you realize that the column is formatted as text. You have to check that. Is amount really numeric? Are dates formatted properly? Are names repeated incorrectly? These are things you need to ask your data. These are things you need to know before moving into the project. You need to understand the data structure. Three, data cleaning comes first. Never analyze dirty data. Please take note. Never analyze dirty data. Never analyze dirty data. One, check for missing value. Check for blank cells. Check for extra spaces. Check for wrong spellings. Check for duplicates. And check for incorrect totals. Are we there? Never analyze dirty data. Never analyze dirty data. Check for blank cells, extra spaces, wrong spellings, duplicates, and what? Incorrect data or incorrect total. So garbage in, then garbage out. The fourth part, know basic Excel skills first. You must know the basics of Excel. You must know the basics of Excel. You don't just jump into projects. So that's what I'm saying. If you're a beginner, you can contact me, you can chat me, you can drop your message on this chat that you need a training for beginners. As a beginner, you need a training. We are open for it. So, know basic Excel skills before project work. Students must understand sum, you must understand sum, you must understand average, you must understand count, if, sorting, filtering, basic formatting, absolute versus relative reference. You must know all these basics function. Am I communicating? You must know all these basic function. Before project works, you must know how to sum your value, how to count, how to make use of ifs, if, count, count if, sum ifs, filter, basic formatting, absolute and relative references. You must know all these functions. If you don't know this, the project will become more overwhelming. You must know all this. Like I said, if you don't know it, the project will become more overwhelming. The project will become what? More overwhelming. The fifth part, organize your workbook properly. Organize your workbook properly. Organize your what? Your workbook properly. Clean data sets. Analyze your sheets. Dashboard. You need to organize it very well. You need to organize your raw data. You need to cleanse the data. You need to analyze the data. You need to organize the work, the dashboard. That is the professional flow work. The raw data come first, clean data next, and analyze the sheets next, then the dashboard comes last. So the sixth part, don't touch raw data. Don't touch raw data. It's very, very important thing you know. Keep the original data unchanged. Some people will not tell you that. Once you collect project, you start. You don't have the new, the old, you don't have the new, you don't have the old, you have the new. You just use that one to be, you just start using that one to start your project. No, there should be the old one. You should have the dirty one. Am I making sense? Don't touch the original data set. Always work on a copy. Always work on a copy. Always what? Work on a copy. This will prevent accidental damage. You understand? So when you have your copy and you have your original, it make your work very easy. The seventh point before jumping into projects, think before using pivot table. You have to think. You have to think before what? Using pivot table. Before inserting pivot table, ask what exactly do we want to summarize? Example, is it by region? Is it by date? Is it by gender? Understand? You need to ask. Pivot table are tools, not magic. They are not magic. They are tools. They are not what? They are not magic. Next, understand data relationship. Understand data relationship. Understand data relationship before moving into these aspects. Before moving into these aspects. So, without wasting most of our time, this is just a build up to the project. This is just a build up to the project. So the build up to the project. Please, if you are watching this section, make sure you share the platform, then invite your friends to partake in this trend. Whether you are a data analyst or not, you're going to gain one or two things. We all need this in our daily activities. You understand? You don't need to be a data analyst before you know how to keep your budget, before you know how to organize your data. You don't need to be a data analyst. You understand? So you may need this in your work, you may need it in your day-to-day activities. It helps you to know what goes in, what goes out. You understand? So when you have it, when you know how to use it, it makes make your life very easy. So if you're watching it, you don't need to be a data analyst. Learn how to use what I'm explaining, how to use it in your own part of field. It can be used anywhere. It can be used anywhere. The skills you're learning can be used. It does not have limits that, oh, I must be a data analyst before I can do that. No, you don't have to be a data analyst before you can do all this. Understand? You may learn how to use it related to your day-to-day activities. Okay? So think before using pivot table. Think before using pivot table. So I'll stop in this place. I'll stop at this point. So please, on Wednesday, we're going to move deeper into it. So summary of what I explained today. The summary, explain what Excel is. Then we looked at the what we can use Excel for, data entry and organization, calculation, data analysis, and charts and visualization. Then we now look at why Excel is so important, why Excel is very, very important. Then we now moved on to pivot table. What is pivot table? I told us the pivot table is a powerful features that helps you to summarize, analyze, and reorganize large amounts of data. Then we looked at the things to know before starting Excel projects. What to know before starting Excel projects. So before then, the last time, last section was when I was explaining the different types of data analysis. So in this project, you're going to learn how to apply those different parts. You're going to learn how to use it for descriptive, how to use it for diagnostic, how to use it for predictive, perspective. So you're going to learn how to use this data to do some of those um, types I just mentioned. So I'll see us next week. Please get yourself prepared. If you know you don't have the data set and you're not on the platform, please comment on the chat. Then we'll send you the data set to use for this live section. So see us on Wednesday. Okay, thank you. So if you're not on this live, if you're not on the group, on the WhatsApp group, please drop your number. You can be added to the WhatsApp group.